Did the New York Jets do Ty Johnson dirty? That's what we are getting into today. What is going on, guys? Matt O'Leary here with another video. Happy Monday. Today I will be getting into the Jets and Ty Johnson situation. Before we get started, just mentioning that you can follow on socials and also make sure to call into the Just Jets podcast. Leave your question. I'll get to it on the show. Okay, so a little bit of a sticky situation with Ty Johnson. We're going to talk through it, explain what happened, explain why it happened, and who's at fault for what happened. Okay. So if you haven't seen it, Ty Johnson tore his pec while working out, preparing for the NFL season, a season in which he was originally brought back to the New York Jets. And with a torn pec, he obviously required surgery. So what he did was he told the New York Jets about it. They said, get surgery. He gets the surgery, and then they cut him. Here it is in his own words.
I had some dark days, man. Like, obviously, went to New York. Told them, I told them before him reporting, like, hey, I was working out, this is what happened. Saw the team doctor. He said, you need to get it fixed. Flew out the next day. Come back happy that I got it done, even though I didn't want to get it done. That following Wednesday, you out of there. And I was like, damn. But at the end of the day, man, like, I know I'm going to be all right. I know God got my back. And just keep going forward, man. So.
Okay. Now that you heard it from him, yeah, it's kind of crappy that that's what happened to him. But let's talk about why it happened and who is at fault. If the Jets are at fault, if Ty Johnson's at fault, bear with me. I'll explain. So he was due $1.23 million in 2023. Now, only $250,000 of that was guaranteed. So the Jets paid out the $250,000 guaranteed, not the rest of it. Now, with him being cut, his dead cap charge is only $75,000, not $750,000. $75,000 is what his cap hit is going to be for the New York Jets. Now, the reason why they had to move on from him, unfortunately, it's not the Jets' fault, even though, yes, does it seem a little cold-hearted to do? Sure. It is a business, but it's still like you get hurt preparing for, an upcoming season. And just like that, bang, you don't have a team anymore. Kind of a crappy feeling, right? It's the NFL's fault. And there's a big reason why. The Jets did that because they were kind of left with no other choice. That's the only option the New York Jets had because of how the league sets this up. So as I mentioned just a second ago, his entire cap hit, whatever he was, going to do, or whatever his cap was going to be on the season for this upcoming year, would have counted the same if he was healthy or not. Where you look comparatively at another sport that has a salary cap, the NHL, we could talk about that because that's, a sport that I follow, pretty closely and, can make a comparison. And if you don't, it'll make sense in a second. If a player is out, let's say, and is going to be out for the year, like something like they require surgery and they're going to be out for the year, you move them to LTIR, which is an acronym. It stands for Long-Term Injured Reserve. And what that does is pretty much, in layman's terms, it's a little more complicated this, but essentially it frees up that money that they were going to be allocated. That cap hit doesn't necessarily count against the salary cap the same way that it would if he was injured. The NFL does not have that. It counts the same. So in the NHL, it allows you to say, okay, well, we were going to have X, we'll use a round number. Let's say $1 million allocated to this player X, but he's hurt now, so he goes to LTIR. That $1 million does not count against the salary cap the same way that it would if he was healthy. You could essentially now use that $1 million on a replacement player. And it goes up, all the way, whatever your salary cap is. You can use that, or whatever your cap hit is. You can use that for replacement. That's why you see teams, at the trade deadline, be able to make these moves because a guy's on long LTIR, accrued cap space throughout the season, all that good stuff. But that's also why they have a problem in another way too, because now teams will trade for broken players just so that they can put them on LTIR and essentially create more cap space for them. But you'd almost rather that then, oh, by the way, like, ooh, you're kind of just screwed because this guy is hurt. He's going to count against your cap space either way, even though he can't do anything for you this upcoming year. So while, yeah, does it feel cold-hearted that, they just moved on from him after he got hurt? Yes, but this is the NFL's fault. It's not the Jets' fault because they are, they're part of the system, right? Like they don't have another choice. Their other choice was keep him around and pay him his full, or have his cap hit count as full for someone who is no value in 2023. And obviously Ty Johnson gets screwed because he's the one that got hurt and he was just trying to prep for the season. So really it's the NFL's fault. Let me know your thoughts down below. How do you think this went down? Let me know. I'm Matt. I'll catch you next time.